Germany was not the first country to be engulfed by fascist ideology. At more or less the same time, a similar philosophy of violence had seized power in Italy. The party emblem was the pagan one of a bundle of sticks tied around an axe. The party leader was one Benito Mussolini. After the First World War, Italy was left facing terrible poverty. More than 600,000 people had died because of the war, and another 500,000 had been crippled. Economic depression and unemployment were rife. Most of the population consisted of widows and orphans. The war had cost the Italians a great deal, but they had achieved few of their aims. As with most people exhausted by war, the Italians longed for glorious victories and days of pomp and circumstance. The former glories of ancient Rome were recalled with longing, and the country still claimed rights to ancient Roman territories. In the same way that Nazi Germany looked back to the pagan culture of the past, Italy, too, was living on its dreams. Regarding the social tension and for assistance after the First World War as an ideal opportunity, Mussolini brought together former soldiers, the unemployed, and various radical university students. Mussolini organized his supporters in a semi-military outfit known as the Black Shirts. The Black Shirts were ruthless and aggressive. They began carrying out street attacks on groups they regarded as rivals. With their Roman-style salutes, songs, uniforms, slogans, and official marches past, they provoked an emotional furor in the ignorant and despairing population. On October 20, 1922, the fascists entered Rome with 50,000 militants. Realizing that resistance in the face of this force was futile, the king charged Mussolini with forming a new government. Shortly thereafter, Mussolini closed down all the other political parties. Some opposition leaders were and others imprisoned. Mussolini was regarded by the fascists as a superior, chosen being with abilities and a special calling. Mussolini's official propaganda service told the press which photograph was to be published when, on which page, and in what size. Il Dulce was depicted in magnificent pictures or working on the harvest, or addressing young fascists, or making policy. In all these publications, Mussolini was portrayed as the man who knew best in all areas. The pages of the newspapers were full of pictures of him flying planes, photographs, swimming or skiing in the Alps. The leader of fascist ideology was literally being turned into an idol. In 1935, Mussolini invaded Abyssinia without even declaring war. He regarded this conquest as necessary if he was to realize his fascist ideals. On October 1935, fully equipped Italian forces attacked strategic points in the country. The use of poisonous mustard gas in populated areas caused terrible loss of life. The peace-loving populace under the leadership of King Haile Selassie were unable to resist the machines of war with their primitive weaponry. The result was a complete massacre. Yet despite all his military strength, Mussolini was defeated in the Second World War. Mussolini and his senior administrators were hanged. Another country struck down by fascism was Spain. Supported by Hitler and Mussolini, Franco's armies seized control after a long and rude war against opponents, the communists. Francisco Franco then installed a most repressive regime and ruled the country until 1975 with his iron fist policy. He had hundreds of thousands of his own people killed, making no allowances for the elderly, women, or children. Franco drove Spain into a major civil war in 1936. Brother fought against brother, and father against son. An average of 500 people died every day during this civil war. Incidents of violence, massacres, mass torture, and inhuman killings never ceased. The Spanish Civil War left some 600,000 dead in its wake. Hitler and Mussolini used Spain just like a laboratory as a testing ground for weapons and troops. The most striking example of it was one village Franco made over to Hitler for his assistance. On the morning of May 5th, 1937, the people of the town of Guernica were wiped out by a fleet of giant bombers produced by Nazi technology. The little town had been abandoned by Franco for the Nazis to test their planes with.